So here we are, we have come to my 666th video, and it happens to be a review for the movie The Conjuring. Just worked out that way. The Conjuring. So The Conjuring is the new haunting horror movie directed by Jahns, the director of Saw, Death Sentence, Insidious, and after Insidious, it's almost like he was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a horror movie that people are gonna remember. The Conjuring does do its job well. You know the formula by now. Family moves into a new house, there are trinkets and things in this new house, and now a demon and probably a couple of ghosts are gonna be haunting this house and terrorizing this family. Then we come across the Warrens, Night Owl from Watchmen and Vera... the hot chick? That's her official name, I think. They play a couple of paranormal investigators. They're ghost hunters. They're pretty much like Taps, but more real. And she's got that sixth sense thing going on, you know, so she can see some paranormal things that other people can't see. And what I liked about these paranormal investigators in this movie is that they debunk things. They ultimately go into these scenarios as skeptics. They're like, nope, sorry, it's the crickety pipes that's the reason you're hearing creaks in your house. Hey, not a ghost. Which makes you trust them. You're like, okay, if something actually freaks these people out, it's because they genuinely believe it's an actual poltergeist or a demon or a ghost or something real. Yeah, I listed off the paranormal things as real, not the real crickety pipes. Now all these elements come together in a movie that's made to scare the living shit out of you. And this movie has some really effective elements going on. First of all, the acting was really good in the movie. Good kid actors, doesn't always happen, but the kids in this movie, they were good. When they were scared shitless, you could tell, you're like, those kids are frightened. When people were supposed to be frightened, I believe they were frightened. If they're all stoic, you could tell they're like, I'm just trying not to show I'm scared, but I'm actually scared. I was interested in this movie the moment I found out The Conjuring is rated R because it's just scary. That's right, no nudity, no rated R language, no sex, no graphic blood. Scary. That's why it's rated R. There's a part of me that thinks that might be a bit gimmicky due to the fact that I have seen rated PG-13 movies that have made my hair stand up, and The Conjuring's rated R because it's scary. You know, it's a rating to illustrate a point, so it's subjective. This movie excels on the tension aspect. You know, the camera will be panning into this really dark corner and someone's scared to death like they're seeing something, and goosebumps are going up your head and up your neck, and you're just like, what's gonna happen? Ugh. The bummer is, I feel the trailer did show too much of this movie. In a movie that excels in tension, the audience is still human. Human beings are pretty smart people. We can piece things together. So when this tension's building, I start seeing the scenery and the layout and who's in this room. I'm like, wait a minute, this person was in this room in the trailer when this happened, and okay, so this is gonna happen. When you piece that together before it happens, the tension's lost. The tension is due to the fear of the unknown. Fear what might happen and what might be there without showing you. Or showing you just enough to scare the shit out of you so you can piece together the worst scenario imaginable in your mind. When you can piece the end game together, it takes away from the movie. And like any good haunting movie, the first half of this movie is actually pretty slow, but I like slow build-up in movies like this. Usually in movies like this, if it moves too fast in the beginning, there's not enough tension, and I'm just not invested in it. I don't have that fear of the unknown, just because the movie's going like 100 miles an hour. Generally speaking, in movies like this, if a haunting movie is going to be effective, it will end up having a slow build-up. It's the give and take of haunting movies. The bummer is, no matter how much hype this movie has, no matter how much praise it has, no matter how many times people go, dude, this movie actually scared the living shit out of me, what they will not say is, dude, everything in this movie is so new and original. The formula is very familiar. The build-up's really good. The execution's really good. It makes you have goosebumps for a good 60-75% of the movie. That's awesome. But it still is familiar territory. You're just not going to get away from that. The thing that did bum me out about this movie is everything is just hitting the climax of the movie. You know, you're like, all right, this is it, and shit's going down, and it's getting all real. And then it just kind of ends. It's like, all right, and then the movie's over, and that's that. And you're like, all right, abrupt, but here we are. That's fine, I want to get home anyway and rewatch season 5 of Breaking Bad before the new episodes air. So it all works out for you. So as a horror movie, The Conjuring is really effective, it's really creepy, it has a lot of good tension. It's not gonna be original material, but the execution's actually really good. It does its job effectively in the sense that you get home and every little creak you hear in your house, you're like, all right, what was that? Ambient noise you've heard 100 times over subconsciously, but you'd pay no mind to it because you didn't just watch a horror movie. Then you watch one and you're like, oh, these are new sounds, and they're not. Yeah, that's what's happening. I will say The Conjuring's worth buying on Blu-ray. It's one of those movies that you're like, have some friends over on Halloween, watch it in the dark, and just freak each other out. All right, so here is the million-dollar question. What movie do you find scarier, The Conjuring or Sinister? That's the scale right there, man. Whichever one you find scarier, comment below, let me know. Or if it's neither, we'll list another one, I guess. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.